of course, ex-boyfriend. And this is why I say, give me stealth mode. I don't want to be famous. There are almost no benefits of being famous at this point in human history, especially if you are a man. There are always people recording you. There are people trying to dox you. There are people trying to sue you. There are people trying to come up to you, trying to be next clip to go viral. And for some reason, the moment you hit over 1 million subscribers, you're all of a sudden an abusive boyfriend. I don't know what that is, but the moment you hit a certain level of status, you're an abusive boyfriend, you're manipulative, you're doing something behind the scenes where some woman is crying, and now you have to be dethroned, or you have to get sued, or you have to deal with some type of publicity. If I have 1, 2 million, I want to go take a pee in the bushes. I want to be able to do that without my bra work all over TMZ. I'm just that kind of guy. Get me stuff done. This video is by Jamari. Jamari is a YouTube legend. The guy's been on YouTube for forever. He makes great content on all of these social issues, with streamers going insane, and all of these different things that the streamers are doing in that world. Go check out Jamari if you want to watch this video without me giving my commentary on it. And I'll leave a link in the pinned comments in the description below. But if you guys want my commentary, I'm about to get into the video right now.
Tonight, my entire timeline was jumping, talking about a YouTuber named Cory Kenshin. Truthfully, I don't really know much about the guy, but he's factually one of the biggest creators on YouTube. It appears to me that he mainly makes gaming playthrough-style videos, and people really seem to universally love him. The last time I can remember him really making headlines was when he was saying YouTube is racist, or showing favoritism, or something like that. Well, last night, Cory found himself on the end of some allegations from an ex-girlfriend, and now a lot of his fans are turning their back on him, saying that this all seems completely out of character, while others are obviously coming to his defense. So all the information we have right now does come from the ex-girlfriend, who goes by the name Panda Ninja XX Official. And she posted 3 slideshows on TikTok, which she titles The Truth About Your Favorite YouTuber.
And I guarantee you she's a failed streamer, or a failed YouTuber, or a failed content creator in some way. It always goes that way. And this is what they feel like their big break is going to be. Now she's going to do a whole podcast tour where she gets to go on other people's platforms and talk about this dramatic situation where this evil man was manipulating her. And that's just the money play right now. And because these people are interesting, they just go on different podcasts and talk about their relationship with the person who actually is interesting.
I'm not doing a story time, I'm sharing what I lived. If it feels heavy, it's because it was. Also saying content warning, non-graphic, emotional plus mental abuse, manipulation, narcissistic behavior, love bombing, gaslighting, illness-related trauma, emotional abandonment, and status abuse.
Look, I remember content warnings where if you see like war footage of somebody's arm getting blown off. When I was growing up in the early internet, there was a website called Rock. Now you shouldn't look up this website because it is absolutely dark, and this is stuff that we probably shouldn't have been consuming, but it was floating around when I was growing up. That was stuff that content warnings were for. That was like some woman got a text message, and that's like emotional trauma, and we need a content warning to show him gaslighting her.
I mean, just based on the sheer amount of buzzwords she used here, I thought, god damn, this dude must have done some really bad shit. She starts out by saying that the world doesn't know the real Cory, and that he was hiding her from the world during the duration of their relationship. She even questions his religious acumen here.
You're ugly, he doesn't like you. That like new? You don't get to meet the family, he doesn't show you off in public because he doesn't actually like you. I thought that was like something we used to understand. Now that's emotional abuse.
Devotion, but act like hurting people in private doesn't count. You fooled a lot of people, but not me. She goes on to say that Cory met her when she was at her lowest, and that he made her feel important. She also alludes multiple times to the idea that he ghosted her, or that he emotionally abused her, and that when she needed him the most, he was nowhere to be found. You treated my body, my heart, my time like they were things that you could shelve and retrieve whenever it suited you. Like I only existed when you needed to feel wanted. And it seems like they had a complicated on and off relationship. She alludes to the idea that he...
She was booty called. Complicated on and off relationship. Any man that loves a woman is not going to be an on and off relationship. He's cuffing you, you're meeting the family, you're meeting his brothers, his friends. If he's not doing that with you, you're a booty call. Sorry. I mean, yeah, people end up getting manipulated, and it happens to them all the time that are in the friend zone. All the time. Dudes do things for women. The women only call them when they want a shoulder to cry on and they need some emotional support. That exists everywhere. The booty call is just the female equivalent. He's only calling you when he wants some butt.
Apparently cheated on her in public. And then the next day, someone told me they saw you in California with another girl. He goes on to claim that this was his sister, and she also says that this is when he stopped talking to her altogether. And then she goes on to say that this ruins her nervous system somehow. And over she questions his position as a role model on YouTube, and really the entire image that he presents in his content to his audience.
Role-play video games talking about a role model. If your role model is Corey X Kenshin for any reason other than you want to be a big YouTuber, if you feel let down because bro getting some butt when he's off of YouTube, then you must be like 9 years old.
Audience claiming that part 2 would be even heavier. An honest post I really saw as a nothing burger. Like, wow, man has a relationship with a woman of age. Yes, maybe he led her on or he knew he had her wrapped around his finger, but nothing criminal or even immoral to me. Now in part 2 we see some actual messages exchanged between the two of them. Apparently they were communicating through Xbox quite a bit, which is insane to me, but I digress. Basically it seems like after some time Corey wanted to spin the block for a booty call, apparently making light of himself ghosting her in the past. You still seeing someone? Why do you ask? Because I'm trying to fuck up your life some more. What? That was a joke, jeez. I was just asking. Now she claims he did this spinning of the block because he knew he could still get her and that it would make him feel powerful. I mean, honestly, I think the dude just wanted to hit it again.
Yeah, like, what are we talking about?
She claims, though, that he somehow threw the fact that she was apparently assaulted in the past by someone else in her face in doing this. She says that he used her when he wanted sex, and he comes back and says that this wasn't the case and that he genuinely loved her, but that apparently during the time of the relationship, his life was all over the place. And despite previously claiming that she did not care about his money or status in the first part, she makes the assumption here that his life is all roses because he has money and fame, which obviously we've seen countless examples that that's not always the case.
Yeah,
a lot of times more money, more status, well, it brings in a lot more problems.
Yeah,
So-
sometimes when you've already beat the game at 19 years old or 17 years like Dustin Bieber, the only thing that's left to do is drugs.
especially men.
When you're in the thick of a project, Harbor Freight is the place that always comes in handy. Whether you're picking up something for your pickup truck or a power...
And also, for the record, in her trying to expose him in this way, tells me that she is being very vengeful and really trying to turn his fans on him. I mean, just look at the way she titled this slideshow series. She was also trying to do like TikTok trends around the topic, which I'll get to here in a second. Now, apparently at some point this woman was diagnosed with cancer, which is obviously terrible. She says she was diagnosed all the way back during the pandemic, saying that she felt more alone than ever. And so she apparently reaches out to him, and she shares this single text from him, allegedly, where he says, "That was the most passive-aggressive cancer review ever." With absolutely no other context, we don't know what she said to him before.
Yeah, where's your family? Where's your mom and your dad and where's your family at? What do you mean you feel alone?
But that, how she said it, or how long it had been since they had even talked. Claiming that seeing that text was harder than the diagnosis itself. I mean, come on. I mean, she's basically acting like he says, "Well, that sucks, bitch, kick rocks," and then blocked her. Like, there is truly not enough context here to make a judgment about one single text
And
message.
even if he did, that would be very, very
if that's what he wanted
that wouldn't be him being guilty of any type of abuse necessarily. We have to be much more responsible about how we apply this word abuse, especially when we're talking about emotional and all these other things that are just very vague terms. This doesn't even look like a relationship to me. It looks like he's a famous guy that's sleeping with a girl.
But she claims that that message showed his true character, and she even brings his mother into this, saying that he should know better because she went through something similar with cancer, which I think is so out of bounds and fucked up
They
for her
always
to
do
say.
that.
Now she claims she survived the cancer, thankfully, and this is where we move on to part 3, where she basically says that Corey was using other women in this way, where never truly committed to them, would like to keep them around.
So, like,
She
are
goes-
we acting like women don't date multiple men at once? Are we acting like that's not true? Are we acting like a girl ain't got 4 or 5 guys in their phone and they leading them on all the time? Are we acting like women don't do this all the time? Imagine if every guy in the friend zone, I don't know a single woman on the planet that doesn't have or haven't had at least one man in the friend zone at some point in their life. Imagine if every guy in the friend zone got to play the she emotionally manipulated me card. That would be weird. Isn't this what everybody's up in arms about? Body autonomy, sexual revolution, everybody just having sex with any random person. This is what we're all for. This is the consequence of it. Yeah, he's a rich guy and he sleeps with multiple women. And only in today's time that scene is damn near a crime. And it's not actually a crime, but socially you damn near get crucified for it. And it's just a crazy double standard because women do this all the time. And I guarantee you she's probably done this to somebody that maybe liked her.
The truth and holding Corey accountable, really painting the picture that what she's doing here is some brave act. And then she also shares this video of the two walking down a hallway where she says, POV, you didn't know this was one of the videos you'd look back on and realize he never cared. He only wanted to see how long you'd let him hurt you.
It's still on.
It's still on.
Then I woke up again when it was off.
Did you watch this?
Yeah, I actually did something to you while you were asleep too.
What?
I'm sorry, I just got this finished.
What?
I didn't hurt you. Good, man.
What'd you do, Corey?
Don't worry about it.
Corey? Corey, what did you do?
Look, the camera out of my face. I didn't do anything.
You did something, and I'm gonna find out on the next episode of
Well, D, where you go with this?
Now don't get me wrong, that was some weird shit he said about watching her in her sleep and doing something. But granted, these are two people whose relationship seemed very immature, toxic, and downright strange. Also, while editing this video, I found this clip where she was being interviewed on TikTok Live last night, and she talks about the things that Corey said in that clip, making it pretty clear that she knew it was a joke.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, you
Now, what are we
see
talking about?
laughing with him in the video. You can't be that dumb to think that it was
People are that dumb, though.
well, unfortunately, then you guys are just a bunch of dumbasses. Like, he didn't make me feel uncomfortable in that video, but if you guys read the point of view on there, I never said that was the essay video.
That she's just mad because she's seen that relationship as the cash cow. It was the only thing interesting about her, so she was holding on to it. Now the dude don't want nothing to do with her, and she's mad because they slept with each other, but she don't feel like she got nothing out of it. That clip is sexual innuendo conversation. That is completely normal. Now, when filmed out of context, it can seem weird. I would not have worded what I might say to my wife that way. But I say those types of things to my wife all the time. This sexual innuendo getting slung all around the place over here. That's a healthy sexual relationship between a man and a woman. If you and a woman and y'all don't have sexual innuendo conversations, there is no sexual tension in your marriage or relationship, and that's not a good thing. Now, again, I wouldn't have said it like that, but damn, a brother can't be human.
You know, in particular, she posted it because it was a nice woman. A nice woman. Like, can y'all listen? That is what she just said. What's wrong with y'all?
I literally just said that.
She did also post this video trying to capitalize on a TikTok trend.
Breaking out of pattern.
I mean, come on, guys. You cannot tell me that this isn't at least a little bit about clout or revenge. I mean, at the end of the day, it really just seems like Corey was playing the fields, having fun with a couple of different girls. Yes, maybe some of them thought that it was something more serious, but either way, the guy did not do anything illegal. He had a fully consensual relationship with this woman. This is something that she said during a TikTok live just last night.
Between me and Corey. Like, the essay happened.
You know how we all have that one friend we go to with all our financial questions? Well, meet Experian, your BFF, as in big financial friend. Experian is going to be your go-to app when it comes to taking control of your finances. Just download the Experian app and get started for free.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep your operation running. That's why at Grainger, we're here for you. With professional-grade industrial supplies and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Me, when I was younger.
A whole different person.
And it has nothing to do with him. Like, and I said that many times in my letter. I never said it. You guys kind of assume because of his wording in the video that he's saying something weird. Like, but he was being playful and he was like saying like.
Yeah, but that was also needed. Sexual innuendo. If I Like, why would you post that? You know, like either moment after something, you assume you would be more believable about it. Maybe he had been on some type of sexual escapade. But for some reason, that's like a pride thing. It's like it becomes like a part of your brand that some of these women are trying to work with. So it doesn't matter who they deal with and who they date. So they always got like record these ambiguous moments so that they can keep them in their back catalog in case something happens and they can post it. It's just so weird. It's so weird. That's why we talk about that fame thing. It's just not working. And everybody just lets these type of women just run rampant without any level of responsibility.
Things like
Thank you.
we
Thank you for saying that.
a laugh. Like that's something we both laughed at. Like that's something that didn't make me feel uncomfortable about him. Like he didn't make me feel uncomfortable in that video.
It's good that she's saying this though.
And I'm gonna say this again. I never said he essayed me. I never said he essayed me. I'm gonna say it one more time for everybody.
I never said that.
I know, like you know, because you've been talking about it, you've been saying it over and over again. They're not listening because, like, some of these people, like, don't have a brain, obviously.
So yeah, but it's just one of those things where it's really none of our business. Nor do I really give a shit if someone I watch for entertainment leads people on in their personal life. I mean, as long as he wasn't doing anything illegal or immoral, like I said earlier, I guess I just kind of think, who cares? Like even the messages that she showed, they were either out of context or they seemed to be blown way out of proportion, like when he was merely joking around or saying something else that we truly have no idea what prompted that response. And the other thing is, how he chooses to present himself in his professional life, in his videos and his streams, is really his choice. Like honestly, the way she set this entire thing up, you would think he was out here on some Diddy shit, or maybe like some Minecraft YouTuber activity, but it was really none of that. I don't know, it's just crazy to me, because when I saw this last night, the way that people were talking about it on Twitter, the way his fans were reacting, you would think this guy did like the absolutely worst thing in the world, when it really just seemed like maybe he played this girl with very loose evidence. I don't know, maybe I'm fucked up, maybe I'm seeing it wrong, maybe you guys will disagree with me in the comments, but nothing about what he did here screams like, oh, this guy needs to be canceled to me. But either way, I want to know what you guys think about this topic down
Right, to me it just seems like he's being, what do they call it, cisgendered male. It's what men are supposed to do when they're not gay. They get success, and they get women because of their success and their proximity, but they don't settle down because they're focused on their success, and that's what got them success in the first place. Their willingness to focus on their success and not the women. So this sounds like another bitter woman using her relationship as leverage to think. This one is called the Corey X Kitchen allegations, and this was by Jamari again. I'll leave a link in the pinned comments and in the description down below. Let me know in the comments below if this video was a WRL, and give me the HBO special. That'd help fill out special. Hit the like and the subscribe button for more content. Till next time.
Can you give yourself, give an introduction of who you are, you know, when you have fun, what you rap, and dismantle all of the false narratives or talks about, you know, how you hate women and how you are a fake therapist. Before we get into the interview with the brother, I want to know your thoughts in the comments on how this creator on YouTube came after the brother and called him uneducated, misogynistic, and ignorant. Let me just show you what this guy said about Jeff St. James and why he went after his credibility, and then we can jump into the interview with Jeff.
I will not let y'all get away with it. The way y'all went after Dr. Cheyenne and Ryan, the way y'all questioned Dr. Cheyenne and Ryan credentials, and the way y'all not saying nothing about this dude, this therapist, so-called therapist, psychologist, whatever.
Let's actually look up Jeff St. James' credentials.
So-called therapist, psychologist, whatever. 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 It's crazy. It's really crazy.
I don't know about y'all, but I don't think it's about his credentials. By the way, his credentials are solid, but it might be because of his position on this gender war thing is not aligned with this YouTuber's position.
Let me see the credentials. I need to see the credentials. Because every time he opens his mouth, he just sounds like a man. He sounds like he's saying,
wait, what did I just hear?
He just sounds like a man. He sounds like he's saying,
ha! He sounds like a man.
he doesn't sound like he knows he understands anything about psychology. He doesn't like. I'm not a by trade psychologist or anything like that. My wife is a psychologist, but that doesn't make me one. She talks completely different about human behaviors and about society and about the socialization of human beings than this man does. This man talks about it the same way a stereotypical ignorant red pill man talks about it. So at this point, I gotta start to call into question this man's credentials because I don't actually believe he has any of this. The way y'all went after Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, the way y'all questioned Dr. Cheyenne Bryant credentials.
Well, let's look at Miss Cheyenne Bryant's credentials.
The way y'all went after Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, the way y'all went after Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, the way y'all questioned Dr. Cheyenne Bryant credentials. The way y'all went after Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, the way y'all questioned Dr. Cheyenne Bryant credentials. The way y'all went after Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, the way y'all questioned Dr. Cheyenne Bryant credentials. The way y'all went after Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, the way y'all questioned Dr. Cheyenne Bryant credentials. The way y'all went after Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, the way y'all questioned Dr. Cheyenne Bryant credentials. The way y'all went after Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, the way y'all questioned Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. The way y'all went after Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, the way y'all questioned Dr. Cheyenne Bryant credentials. The way y'all went after Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, the way y'all questioned Dr. Cheyenne Bryant credentials. The way y'all went after Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, the way y'all questioned Dr. Cheyenne Bryant credentials. The way y'all went after Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, the way y'all questioned Dr. Cheyenne Bryant credentials. The way y'all went after
Fair that you can.
ChatGPT gets 123 million visits a day, and most people still use it like a toy. Here is how to use it smart.
Let's be real. Most people over 40 use ChatGPT like it's Google. Copy, paste, ask a basic question, move on. That's not how smart people use AI. Tomorrow, we're starting the 28-day AI challenge for beginners over 40. Just 15 minutes a day to level up. In 1 week, you'll feel unstoppable. In 2 weeks, you'll have your strategy. In a month, you'll wonder why you didn't start sooner. Tap the screen to join us.
I went from irregular eating, fatigue, and the gym 6 times a week to healthy eating habits, productive days, and the gym 3 times a week, and here's how. So I started with laying down a routine that worked with my lifestyle, and I started viewing food as fuel and not the end. I used to do excessive cardio 6 times a week, and I swapped it for weight training 3 times a week and added 30 minutes of daily weight movement. And I started prioritizing eating whole foods and macronutrient meals. The grogginess and fatigue I used to have literally disappeared, and that is all thanks to Pay. It's basically a company that connects you with registered dietitians who provide personalized nutrition advice for basically $0 since it's covered by
After Chef St. James, I don't know if it's warranted. I'm just saying. Maybe y'all had a conversation in the past, but I
don't know that man.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to wonder, like, why do you think he's not? Why do you?
Because I could see because he was lying.
You thought he was lying?
100%.
On what?
If Jerry came on here right now, right?
If he came on here right now
and tried to talk to me and had those conversations that he was having on them panels, it would be shut down in 2 seconds.
Okay, I understand now. You just had a disagreement with his position, but you don't internalize it as his credentials are fake.
No. I don't think I looked him up. He has a degree in like biblical therapy or something like that, which is not what he's talking about. That's what I'm saying. His credentials has nothing to do with the space he's in. So him throwing that around is disingenuous. The same way people be trying to come after Dr. Cheyenne Bryant and check her credentials. That's what I was saying. I was like, I find it convenient, right? And I went to school with Cheyenne. I knew her since I was in 10th grade. 11th grade. I knew Cheyenne since we grew up in Long Beach, California together. That's my homegirl, right? So a part of it is personal, but in all honesty, it's just hypocritical of me.
I don't think he said, and I'm not sure, I don't know if he said anything. I don't think he particularly said anything against
He did. No. He did it, and that's what I said. I just used him as an example. I said, because every time I see him, people talk about he's a therapist. They want to throw around he's a therapist, right? They throw that title around. So Cheyenne Bryant, right? So my thing is if y'all gonna sit there, the only reason why men was scrutinizing Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is because she was saying things that was challenging the patriarchy. She was backing men down, putting them in the corner, and talking shit to them, right? They don't like that neither. So the Corey Holcombs of the world, they started coming out, oh, that dirty dog-headed B-word, and all that started being disrespectful. I know you suck dick and you ain't a real doctor, and just trying to discredit it, right? And I said, okay, that's how you feel. I noted it, I did videos on it, I said, that's crazy that y'all doing that, whatever. Then this dude popped up. I didn't even need to check his shit. I knew. My wife is a psychologist. She ain't a psychiatrist. She's a psychologist, right? Got her master's. Talking to her, listening to the things that she says, the way that she talks about human behavior, completely different than the way that Jeffrey talks about it. He talks about it like an uneducated human being. But then he says that he's a therapist, which gives what he's saying, at least on the surface, validity. And that is not good. We cannot have people using their titles to validate toxic behaviors and toxic ideologies like the ones he perpetuates. So that's when I called him out. But then I just made the comparison between the two. I was like, look, y'all gonna talk Cash Money shit about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant? Why don't y'all check this man's credentials? Because if you do, I guarantee you he got less credentials than her. And he gets to call himself a therapist, and he gets to tout himself as a professional in the space just because he's saying the things that men agree with.
Is he licensed? Hasn't he licensed as a therapist?
I don't know. I just know. I know that he's I think he might be. I don't know. I went to his.
So if let's just say he is. I think he is. He said he is. I think it's on the site or whatever. Let's just say he's a licensed therapist.
Okay.
Because of his degree, he's restricted from speaking. First of all, I mean, we got freedom of speech, right? And it's subjective to whoever wants to call it toxic or not toxic, depending on the targeted audience. It may not be for, it may be for a specific audience. But we can agree that if you do have a license, you can practice therapy. You don't have to bottleneck yourself into the biblical side of it. You can just become a therapist for all people who need therapy, right? You don't turn away people at your door. If it's not about the Bible, you got to go somewhere else. Anybody can come in and needs therapy.
Yeah, but that's not my argument at all. I don't mind him being a therapist, but he needs to stay in his lane. His lane is not. I'm saying all I'm saying is if you are going to use your title, you're going to use your education as a way to validate what you're saying, then your education should have something to do with the thing you're talking about. And his education has nothing to do with the things he's talking about. He's just talking. He's just a talking head. And that's fine. Just like you and me. We both, not one of us are like, we talking. My point is, his opinion and his perspective is no more or less valid than yours or mine, right? But
I don't think he tried to hype him, but I don't think he tried to elevate himself higher than any said person to warrant such.
Of course he does. And that's what other people do. And it may, you know what? It may not even be him. But I'm saying, whenever people make these thumbnails and whatever, if they're going to put in there, therapist Jeffrey and okay, cool. So I'm listening to him. I'm like, okay, so he has the credentials. And then I look at it. I'm listening to it, and I'm like, oh, this motherfucker is just regurgitating misogynistic talking points, and he can't substantiate any of these claims, right? I know that, but most men don't, and most men don't care to know that. So, but they get to go around now and say a licensed therapist was online saying thus. That's what I'm saying, and that's dangerous. That's something I can't rock. I'm not cool with that.
And I understand you can't rock with it. And I think what you just did, we just showcased that it's for a specific audience. It's not for everybody. I think his targeted audience is maybe his lane is men's issue. And I think that's the very thing he talks about.
No. That's disingenuous. I care about men. I care about men more than any red pill man on this app. I genuinely care about men. I do. And you can.
Well, I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying that.
No, I know, but this is what I'm saying. I'm saying my target audience is men too. Men don't want to listen, I know that. My target audience is men though. I know the only way for me to get men to listen to me is to be like Jeffrey and say things that are untrue about men and women. Claims that can't be substantiated. Lies about men and women. misconceptions about men and women, right? If I do those things, I can attract them.
Are you being completely honest? Your audience. No, I don't want to. I don't think we gotta go to extreme.
I've been asking
if I was to ask,
I
don't need you to do it, but if I was to like, hey, look, P.O., what is your demographics on your analytics? Would it be mostly?
Oh, it's mostly women, but that again, my audience. I don't pick my audience. Like I don't. Y'all do. I don't.
What if I told you? What if I told you from the outside in? When you make content that, even if it's for men, even if you speak to men, tell them, trying to get them to do something, or trying to get them to do that, or challenging, or saying, hey, look, or holding them accountable, or anything, that is going to have an indirect effect that you may not even expect. It's actually going to target more women.
Well, I'm not targeting women.
Well, I'm saying you don't have to. Like, for example, I can speak to women and hold them accountable. And say, oh, y'all need to get y'all shit together. Y'all need to get this. Y'all need to get that. And the way the algorithm works is none of the women are going to click on that. They're like, man, fuck that. You go talk to the men. Men are going to watch that because it's a fireman bias. So you don't even know that you may have good intention to target man, but indirectly what's happening is you're actually targeting to come listen.
Hey.
Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments on that conversation. Let's get into the interview with Jeff St. James.
I found out some new things about myself. Apparently I'm gay. Apparently I hate women, and apparently I've been a fake therapist for the last 10 years. I think it's funny. I'm actually a real therapist. I actually did get a master's. I actually did get my license. I still have one as of now. I know some of y'all looking really hard to see how I can lose that, and maybe lose my job, maybe lose my credentials in some way. But in order to lose it, that means I must have had it. As of now, I still have it. But now I've been rocking in the space of mental health for a little over a decade. Worked for prisons, schools, and now for the largest mental health nonprofit in the city of Philadelphia.
Excellent, man. Excellent resume, man. And it's sad that people are coming to destroy you when you're simply just trying to speak the truth. And I think what people fear mostly is that your truths or your position is coming from expertise, not just the typical opinion that most people have in this space. Your position is actually it's backed by studies. You have your own realm of material that you can gather a lot of these points and substantiate from, rather than just what everybody else typically do, just jump on Google. Now you're actually out here in the trenches dealing with hundreds and hundreds of people in the space that have these issues.
It is what it is. I'm on the internet like everybody else, so I've seen what happens whenever someone speaks out for good or bad reasons. I know that there's going to be two camps: those that huddle behind you and say we like what this message is, and then those who viscerally want to react poorly to it. In this scenario, I have a few agendas in mind, and things that I haven't said to my audience yet on my platform. But when I do, I'll let people know a lot more of what I'm trying to do and why. But the main focus is getting men and women in each of us to better understand each other, and to learn things that potentially we didn't really realize.
I appreciate that. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into it because I don't like to hold up. You know what I'm saying? I got some questions for you, and I'm gonna go ahead and start throwing up. We're gonna jump into masculinity and double standards. So my question to you is, and we talk about toxic masculinity. Why is it socially acceptable for women to shame toxic masculinity, but not for men to challenge toxic femininity?
So for starters, I actually will say one of my main reasons for doing this is to take back control of our lexicon and our language and our words and our speech. I think that there's been a group that's been pretty nefarious and very effective of being able to control what we're allowed to say publicly in workspaces and just even amongst, our friends and family. The starting point, this concept of toxic masculinity and toxic femininity, it does not exist. And I'm rocking against that concept because it's an oxymoron. In order for something to be masculine and in order for something to be feminine, these are considered positive attributes. In order to protect, in order to provide, in order to nurture, and in order to care. Those are the signs and reflections of somebody that's being masculine and or being feminine. These are positive things. So individuals that will take something that is positive and call it a toxic version of it, there's no such thing. If anything, that's like saying a stupid genius. Like either they're stupid or they're a genius. Toxic is just what human beings can be, men or women. But when they're being toxic, they're not being masculine. When they're being toxic, they're not being feminine. So just even that concept alone is like, I'm not buying that narrative no more. I'm not buying that lexicon. I'm not using those words. Toxic masculinity and toxic femininity do not exist. They do not go hand in hand. Now, if you're asking why is it socially acceptable for people to point out men's bad behaviors versus why it is that it seems like we can't challenge women's bad behaviors, well, the starting point is because the extreme third and fourth wing feminists pretty much have been running the zeitgeist of society for quite a while in almost every major area of influence.
What is that, zeitgeist? What does that mean?
Actually, I'll use a better word. They are running they pretty much built the mental matrix of what we're allowed to do in society, what we're allowed to say, what we're allowed to do, how we're allowed to feel, and even what we're allowed to believe in. So the third and fourth wing feminists have become so powerful and so effective. Whenever people point out things that women are doing that's wrong, they already have their go-to words to kind of shut you down, shame you. And if that's not enough, they'll go through the long list of things. You'll start recognizing the pattern. They'll start with calling you a misogynist. They'll start coming for your sexuality. Then they'll start coming for your relationship, if you have one. Then they'll start trying to go in your past and see who you've been with and to see if they could potentially expose you. Then if that's not enough to shut you down, then they want to find out what your credentials are. Then they're going to try to destabilize you in terms of economically. And the hope and goal is, until you believe what we believe and say what we say, we will do all we can to break you until you fall back in line of submission. Their view is very simple. They've shifted from believing that the patriarchy was something that centered primarily around men. It was male-centered. And they moved men out of the center. And instead of saying, you know what, maybe there's space in the center for both of us, they said, no. Now it's our turn. We want things to be centered around female viewpoints, female orientation, female styles of communication, and female understandings of how to view these things. When you live in a functional cultural matriarchy like that, whenever you point out anything that women are doing wrong, now the impulse is not they could actually be doing something wrong. The impulse is he hates women. So I'm trying to get the audience to start to catch what's been going on and what's been dominating our fields for the last 2 generations. It was creeping in the college levels, and it's seeped all the way down to the elementary levels. It's in the HR departments. It's everywhere. We're so deep in it that it's to the point of almost like trying to see air. It is everywhere. So my goal is actually not to hate women or to prop men and say men need to be back in the center role. My job is actually to get us to a place where we can appropriately identify good and bad behaviors within both sexes and not allow those that only want to focus on things being negative that exists within the male population. I'm one of those people that's like, no, we got to get somewhere back in the middle. Because if we swing from everything's about men to now everything's about women, the goal of correcting this stuff is not to swing back to everything's about men again. My belief is that issue is probably how we ended up with this issue. So my lens is there is toxic men, there is toxic women, And if and when people, when you point it out, people try to trick you into saying, well, you can't say that because do you hate women? Or are you misogynist? Or so women aren't allowed to this? Or no, 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 no. Either what you're doing is right or wrong, and your gender is secondary to what the primary issue is. And leave it at that. And if they won't reconcile that, if they won't accept that, you run as far as you can away from people like that. And there are men and women that espouse that form of feminism where women are now central, where women are now held to a level where they're beyond reproach and can't be corrected. I'm basically shaking the paradigm and kind of messing with the algorithm a little bit in hopes to kind of get us to a much more balanced view.
Ah, that's excellent because, and that's what I kind of thought. That it's crazy that you say that the reason why they're pushing it all the way to, you know, making everything centered around feelings and catering to the women is because the problem used to be, okay, everything should be circled and centered around the men. And then instead of just shifting it to the middle where it's fair and even, no, we're going to bring that thing all the way over to our side. And then we're going to push for society to look the other way while we're doing it. And if any man try to come in, we're going to tear him down.
Yeah. So
that's deep.
That's it. So and what you just said is the key part where if you want to know whether the woman in front of you, where she is on that spectrum between centralizing men, centralizing women, or somewhere in the middle, point out something that is a primary benefit to women and is at the expense of men and see what her response is to it. And that'll let you know where, once you know this and you start testing it out, you'll realize how much energy to expend in interactions and exchanges with them. So when I said what I said in that interview with the ladies on My Truth, Sharing My Truth podcast, and I was listing the laundry list of things that primarily impacts men and is usually a benefit to women. The women that said we don't care, that's y'all issue. There's nothing talking about paternity fraud. What's the purpose of changing that? Now you know where she is. Now you're learning earlier and sooner where they stand. And now all you got to do is respond accordingly. You know what? You got it. Because now you know she's not at a place of seeing the value of your humanity as a man. She's still at the spot where, because of oppression, because of Marxism, because of what I was taught, because of what I was indoctrinated or propagandized to believe, you as a man can't point out things that's wrong with me or women.
You know what? I used to think that the only women who had this position were women who were projecting and had traumatic experiences, and it impacted their makeup and how they see things. But then I started to learn that it's not just those women. It's actually women that are coming out learning this stuff, and embracing it, and they never even try to see men for who they really are. But then they just learn to have a position because of perhaps maybe who they're inspired by.
Yeah. I think, and as an example, what you're saying, I think a lot of us grew up and became adults believing that those women were the blue-haired women with, always protesting something. And what we realized and turned out was like, no, there's aspects of this belief system that's kind of ingrained in a lot of us. Men, boys, and girls are being taught to view this way. And think of an example. When you're a really, really, really young boy, and the first time you have a negative physical altercation with a girl, where she puts her hands on you, she pushes you, she hits you, and you go to retaliate, what's the first thing they teach you? Don't put your hands on the girl.
Don't put your hands on a woman.
All right? The issue with it, that's right, don't do it. But the issue with it is that both sides have been taught one side's allowed to be a little bit more of an aggressor in this area, and the other side has to be willing to just accept and take it. Now, when this boy and girl grows up, extrapolate that over society.
Oh,
you now have a group that functionally feels like you can't touch me. You can't say this to me. You can't have standards for me. Standards for what I got to bring to the table? No, that's sexist. That's misogynistic. It's something as subtle as that. As it grows and expands in the various domains of our life, you can start to see it all over the place. And once you get rid of the toxic masculinity, toxic femininity stuff. Just look at it through the spectrum of there's good people and bad people. And there is a segment of the population that includes a small percentage of men and a huge percentage of women that functionally believe only one side is evil.
That's crazy because now, and it helps me understand it a little bit more layered. Because if you're teaching these things as young kids, you're teaching young kids these things. We didn't compensate for the fact that it will overlap in other areas. Like if you're teaching a man to just take it on the chin, now indirectly, you might be teaching that young man when he becomes an adult, that, hey, not have any boundaries, take disrespect, accept manipulation. All of these other things that can derive from that very teaching, we did not compensate for it. And there's really no way to undo that. They end up in your office, and you're trying to plead with them on how to do that. Now, make sure you download the 2 free copies of my ebook at the top of the description, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
You know what I'm saying? It's like the scenario of my life. I don't know. It's like I was born into this fuck shit, you know? It's like I was born to come here and see the niggas ain't shit and not to marry one. That's what it looked like.
So you broke up with them?
Well, I mean, with my second son's father, you know, with me being pregnant and everything and news got out, it wasn't no way I was finna fool with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna have no dealings with him after that. None. He didn't want to meet his son after that. Like, his thing was this, you know, he couldn't fuck me while I was pregnant or nothing like that. He was mad because he couldn't have no dealings with me. He didn't want no dealings with me. He didn't want no dealings with his child. Still to this day, he don't know his child.
And this happened while you was in your 20s?
Yep, I was in my 20s.
You don't think you're in a better mindset now?
I think then I didn't know I was in this mindset. I think then I was moving up a funk. Because mind you, my father left us for good when he brought us to Louisiana. I was like 14, 15. I ended up getting pregnant at 18. It was like a cloud on me. You know what I'm saying? Like for years. But I'm better.
What makes you better than you were in your 20s? Let's say a guy was interested in you. And let's say you're a salesman. Pitch yourself. What's so good about dating you now?
I'm smarter as far as, you know, every sense of the word. I'm a better mother. Because mind you, I had my children young, so I had to grow up with them. I know a little bit more about, you know, motherhood and how to not be the parent that my parents was. You know, I do my hardest.
Is it safe to say that you're at your goal weight, fitness, like health, like, or would you say you're overweight? If you being honest, would you say that you're kind of overweight?
I don't think I'm overweight. I think I'm the goal size. You know,
how tall are you?
I'm about 5'5".
And how much you weigh?
About 135, 140.
140?
Something like that.
Okay.
But I'm built nice. Like I ain't, you know, I ain't got nothing against nobody. But I've always been active. I'll just say it like that. I've always been active. Not working out now, but I usually work out. And you know, you just don't lose a certain kind of look when you always worked out. You know, you can always kind of tell.
I don't think he's a bad guy. He fell on hard times, right? He had an injury on his job, beyond his control. He went through some things that impacted him physically, mentally, emotionally, financially. I get it. I took on a second job to help him during this time, but it was like he still wanted a woman that was gonna come home and cook.
So when considering delusions or unrealistic beliefs, do you think these tendencies are more commonly attributed to man?
Yes. Yes, I do. Why? This is why. Because, again, I'm gonna go back to the Kevin Gates thing, and the question you just asked me: do you think at the position that you're in, you know, right now, divorced, 3 kids, this and that's, the same way, you know, divorce of 3 kids and stuff like this, expectation of X, Y, and Z from a man. I feel like it's very much the same thing. Like, we've seen the stereotype: the guy with no job that drops the girl off in her car and drives around, you know, while she's at work, expecting to be treated like a king, but moving like the courtyard jester. You know, I had this conversation again with my ex. I don't think he's a bad guy. He fell on hard times, right? He had an injury on his job beyond his control. He went through some things that impacted him physically, mentally, emotionally, financially. I get it. I took on a second job to help him during this time. But it was like he still wanted a woman that was going to come home and cook, you know, or a woman that was going to do this or that was going to do this. So to me, your expectation of me is delusional. You know, you are moving at a 5 at best, but you want a 10. No, so like that. No. So absolutely, I feel like just like Kevin Gate or whatever his name is, Kevin Samuel says, women come in with a lot of baggage, expecting this, and this from men. Absolutely, come in mediocre, substandard at best in some situation, expecting exceptional women, and that's not it. Like we have to meet each other on the same level, or one has to be working to get to where the other one is. So yeah. I think men are just as delusional as you think women are.
Damn. But let me just ask you. So the guy had, you said it was out of his control. Do you think he should give him a pass? Because
no. No.
He had a medical issue.
Okay. I don't want to divulge his medical, like his injury led to surgeries. That's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to talk about his medical history. And obviously, after the surgery, like I used to hear him say a lot, I can make myself better. I can make myself better. But I'm like, you're not doing anything to make yourself better. Like you're still sitting here, waiting around on a settlement to come through, but watching me work 2 jobs. There was a situation, at one point, my son's car broke down, and we live in a separate city that he goes to school. So I gave him my car to drive to school. It was his senior year, and I'm working 2 jobs, and I asked him, hey, if I can get dropped off at my, if I come out and stay with you, because we live separately, and I helped him with his rent, living in separate homes. If I come out here and stay with you, can you take me to my first job? I'll catch a ride to my second job, and you just pick me up from my second job and bring me back to your place. He told me that would be difficult. I said, is it difficult to work both of them? Or is it difficult for you to pick me up? Both. But I'm working 2 jobs to help you. Or there was one time, just to show you the type of, like when I say delusion, my son's car, the brakes went out, and I went to take him to the brake shop one day to get the rotors replaced, the brake pads and stuff like that. And I get in the car, and I'm literally standing on the brakes, and the car would not stop.
Oh, that's dang.
So I said to him, hey, will you drive this car and just let me follow you in your truck, because I'm scared. You're my man, and I'm telling you, as your woman, that I'm scared to drive this car with the brakes like this. This is the exact response I got verbatim. Toya, the car's not going to stop regardless of who's driving it.
Well, I mean, that's what you. So are you saying because he's a man, he should be the one at risk and not you?
Absolutely, yes. You are to be a protector. Would you not lay yourself down for your wife and your kids?
You got a point.
Okay then, absolutely. Yes, that's exactly what I feel. So yeah, I don't feel sorry for him. When he got his settlement, he said he had things he had to do for himself. Not for the woman who worked for 2 jobs for 2 years to help him. Now, I had 1 semester remaining to finish school and chose to help him instead. I still haven't finished school. So no, I don't feel he deserves a pass, because he's a man. As a man, you would do what you need to do to make sure your family was good, regardless of your situation. You had 3 years. You could have gone to school. You could learn to, stocks, trading, something to better yourself. So absolutely, I don't feel he deserves a pass. I feel sorry for him. I'm sorry that he went through it, but at some point, I've been hurt. I work in, very like labor intensive, career. I had a car accident. You know what I had to do? I had to get back up and I had to go back to work because he and everyone else depended on me. So no, at what point do I stop feeling sorry for you and I start giving you some tough love, telling you, hey, you need to get up and make some stuff happen?
What do you think contribute to him, behaving like this or moving like this?
I mean, to some degree, I have to fault myself because I was doing it. Somebody said, was he a bum from the beginning? No, he worked from the beginning, but, he hurt himself like kind of early on. But from that point on, when I feel like he saw that I would financially contribute, I feel like he got comfortable with it. So I blame myself for the person that he became.
Right.
But because the less he did, the more I did.
And in your experience, in your dating experience, do you recognize a pattern in men? Like on a scale from 0 to 10, what number would represent as far as percentage? How many men that are similar, have similar mentalities or that move the same way this guy?
Listen, I don't want, please, do not come for me when I say this to your viewers, but I'm going to say this. Most of the guys that I've encountered in the state of Virginia seem to be like this.
And
Virginia,
give me a percentage. Give me a percentage.
I mean, it's hard. I mean, even when I look at friends who are dating, it's up there. It's up there. I'm talking about over 50. It's up there. The mentality of the people I've seen around here, I'm just going based off what I've seen. Here, it is very much it's like the roles are blurred. The traditional roles have become so blurred. Like from what I've seen here, it's the woman getting up, taking the kids to school. It's the woman, going to work. It's the woman being the breadwinner. It's when my son's fuel pump went on his car. It was my son and I in the back seat changing the fuel pump. Not my ex and my son. It was my son and I. So
maybe he lacked those skills.
I lacked them too. I looked at YouTube. I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean, I lacked them too.
Oh man, that's a tough one there. Well, somebody said you was enabling him.
I was absolutely enabling him. I'm not gonna deny that or dispute that. That's why I said when you asked what do you feel like contributed to him being like that, I feel it was me. I feel like the person that I was, no matter, I felt bad for him in the beginning because he hurt himself, but at some point I started realizing like you're taking advantage. And then I asked him to leave. The cops came. The cop said he didn't have to go. He was like, that's the best thing he needed to hear. He didn't go, and then to make him leave, he got approved for an apartment. I gave him the money to move. I did. Do it again because I'm not denying it. I absolutely 100% enable him. But I also finally grew wiser to recognize it was all about him. Like he literally told me once, I called him for something that I needed. And he did say, he was like, well, give me a minute. I'm going to see this or something. I have to make sure I'm good first. I didn't move like that with us. I made sure we were good. I didn't make sure Toya was good.
So from now on, you're going to make sure Toya good?
You better believe it. You better believe it. You better know it.
So can we assume that when a woman goes through things like this, it could shake the way she behaves with her next mate? Like you said, you're gonna start making sure Toya's right. So if you get in another relationship in the future, chances are you're gonna start making sure Toya's right instead of making sure we right.
Yeah, that's the plan, dog. But you know, sometimes we can have something called trauma bonds, man. Like we just become so attached to what we're familiar to. You know, as a kid, you know, we grew up together. Is it the energy you put out? Like I don't know what energy it is I'm putting out. Like you know, I tried to be supportive and understanding until I wasn't. You know.
Is there any benefit from dating you in your 20s that a man wouldn't be able to get now?
In where I am my age now.
Right, that he wouldn't be able to get now.
No, I would have to say no. For me personally.
So you would say for you personally, no. Okay, that's
for me personally, no.
Well, what about in general?
In general, see, I would have to be speaking on my young women, and I'm not okay with that. But I'm just gonna try. Let me see if I could try to just give you a standard answer. Well, I mean, in some cases, it might be the physical aspect. In some cases, if you're not a superficial person, and of course, not being mature enough to. But typically, if you have a young man and she's a young woman, they may already be on the same level.
What if it's an older man and it's a younger woman?
Okay, now that's different. That I never understood that. I never understood an older man wanting to date a younger woman. Unless, and the reason why I'm saying that is because the only thing that will be a plus, a pro in a relationship like that to me would be the sexual aspect and likely, you know, the physical aspect. But an older man dating a younger woman, it's the communication is totally off unless she's a more mature younger woman. So you have to always take something like that into consideration, whether it's one or the other. You may find a young man who dates a young woman who's mature. You may find a young woman who dates an older man and she's mature. So that takes a different turn. But if we're looking at it just on the surface, an older man and a younger woman really have nothing in common when it comes to emotional things. And the only thing that would, to me, would be a pro would be the physical aspect. He may want, you know, the appearance of a younger woman around him, her body, things of that nature, and sexually. But as far as the emotional connection and being able to communicate on an intellectual level, it's not gonna happen unless the woman is a mature young woman.
So if a man is 40 years old, how much younger could he date to where he don't really step over into that criteria that kind of makes it incompatible?
25.
So a 40-year-old could date a 25-year-old and she wouldn't be considered a younger woman?
She would be, but she would be a more mature younger woman.
Okay, so 25 would be good. Okay.
So I'm saying that will keep him out of the realm of having to deal with the stuff that you would be dealing with on the surface. A 25-year-old would be somewhat a little bit more mature.
Okay. So let's say that'll be a 15-year gap, right?
Right.
So anything over 15 years is ridiculous.
It's a challenge.
It's gonna be a challenge.
It's a challenge.
So if you're a 50-year-old man, a 50-year-old baller, you're a millionaire, dating a 25-year-old wouldn't make sense.
No, it would not. It would not. Not if you're serious about that person. Not if you want to be serious. You just want eye candy, or you just want, to play, and you just want to be able to say, oh, I'm dating a 25-year-old. And typically somebody that old, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. So 9 times out of 10 is everything except I want a serious relationship.
So a man like Idris Elba got no business dating a 25-year-old.
Is his wife 25? I don't even know. No, I don't think she's 25 at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Because some of these 50-year-old men.
I mean, yeah, because I said 25 is a more mature age.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any business dating anybody 24 and below. Now, I typically don't condone relationships where the guy is 50, like you said, and dating a younger woman. 40 to 25, I think is okay.
So what do you say to a 50-year-old man who's dating a 23-year-old woman, supermodel or whatever? Would you say that he's in over his head?
I would. That's what. So let me get clarity, because we've been kind of going back and forth. So 25 to me is a more mature woman. 24 and below, you will have challenges. Any man 50 should not be dating anybody less than 35. Any man 50 and over should not be dating anybody younger than 35. So again, I'm giving you clarity. 25 is a more mature age.
Get any pizza with any toppings for just $9.99 online. Try the Domino's viral pizza or invent a new one.
Or a female. Any man that is 50 should not be dating anybody that's younger than 35. If he really wants compatibility in his relationship, if he's really serious.
Oh, wow.
And any man that's 40, yes, he can date 24 and below, but it will be challenges.
Oh, wow.
And that's just, this is all based on my experience.
I heard that. I know that's right. So what is the challenge? So I know I talk to a lot of brothers, and a lot of brothers have this belief, or and it could be based off of their experiences or experiences of other men that they've surrounded themselves with, and they would say that it's also challenging, or even more challenging, to date a woman who's over her prime age. What would you say to men who say that? They probably are they just picking wrong, or maybe they may be delusional?
What age range is this man?
Well, you got this thing, you got this term called leftover women. Are you familiar with that term?
Yeah, I've heard you mention that. I've heard you talk about that.
And the reason why these guys would say that is because, well, basically they wouldn't want to cross a certain threshold of women. Mm-hmm. I think that's typically around once a woman start to peak over 30 years old, they're like, okay, look, that's where I'm gonna stop at. Regardless if they keep, growing that age. So does that even make sense to you, given your, what you just previously said? Because it kind of puts him, if a man really wants to take your advice and he has that in his mind, it's kind of probably going to confuse him, like, well, damn, I can't, so I have to date a woman that's, over 30, to get a meaningful relationship,
And
or should I just...
it's really all of this is subjective, because a lot of who you are is based on your experiences. A lot of who you are is based on your upbringing, your education, your understanding of things, whether you're a religious person or not. You know, it's so many factors that make up one individual.
Right.
So we can go on and on and on about all of these different scenarios, but really it all boils down to who that person is as an individual. She could be a 25-year-old, extremely mature, understanding, career-oriented individual. And she can date a 40, 45, 50-year-old, and they would absolutely be fine because she's on their level. But she could also be a 25-year-old that is playing around, that's unsure of herself, you know, that's, you know, carrying a lot of trauma, you know, and a man 40 and up, there's not going to be any substance in that relationship. So it really just depends on the individual.
Right.
I'm going to be honest, King. It really depends on.
I agree with you on that. It depends on you as an individual. I agree.
However, I was gonna say, the man that feels like he doesn't want to date what you call quote unquote leftover women, honestly, that will be a case-by-case basis. He may date a woman in that age range that he finds absolutely phenomenal. They're compatible. They understand each other. They get along. They understand sacrifice, commitment. You can find that in a woman that is outside of your window of age, that you're saying, you know, you're not going to go to that age level, that age bracket. And then you can find like the worst experience ever in a woman. So it's so hard to say, you know, don't consider those things. But what I would say is have an open mind, have an open heart, because you never know what's really for you until you try it.
Until you try it.
So don't look at, you know, an older woman and say, oh no, you know, I know she's gonna have this, and this going on, and you can't really guarantee that.
Right.
And some women typically are mature enough to say and to have the knowledge and understanding of what somebody that's in a different age range may, you know, like or may want, or may, you know, what level of understanding they may be on, and they can meet them halfway. So it really just depends. And I don't like that they stereotype a certain age range. That's why I told you when you asked me about the 20-year-olds and the 25, I was just like, I hate to speak on things like that, because you're actually saying, I know for sure you are these things, and that's, we can't really predict that.
That's right.
We can't really predict that.
All right. Before we move on, is it safe if one wanted to? Is it safe to say that the whole thing would be different for a woman who was dating younger?
No. You mean would it be different if it's a woman dating, an older woman dating a younger man?
Right.
No, because then you have older, immature women. I mean, it's safe to say a lot of things, but you're still gonna always have that window where you might not get what the statistics told you would get.
Yeah, you just don't just submit because he said so, or because you want to be in this relationship for long term. I am single.
Is there a reason why? Why are you single?
When you fall in love with somebody and you want them to be something that they're not, I kind of like forced that. So I didn't really like, allow that person to be who they are. I fell in love with like their potential instead of what they actually displayed. We couldn't work out, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, that's kind of like at a place where I'm at.
So you said you didn't do what he wanted to do. Does that mean you were combative?
I could, in his terms, yeah. Yeah, from his perspective, yeah, I was.
What does that mean from his terms?
I mean, like, if you were asking him, yes, he would say that. I'm not submissive. I'm not, those kind of things. I'm not, Am I?
Yeah.
I will when I get married, and to my husband I will submit, but not to a boyfriend, not to a sneaky link, no, I'm not submitting to any of those.
But he wasn't a sneaky link, was he?
No, he was my boyfriend, but still, that's not a husband. Yeah, you just don't just submit because he said so, or because you want to be in this relationship for long term.
So how long into the dating process should a woman submit to her man?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I really don't know.
How long was your relationship?
Oh my gosh. Like, I can't, be specific because then everybody's going to know what I'm talking about.
Okay, well, was it longer than 5 years?
Yeah.
Oh my God, 5 years and no submission?
I mean, because it was, off and on. Like, we would, hit a spot and then it would be like, okay, we're not gonna do this anymore. We're gonna lead our other lives, give other people a chance to be with us.
Yeah, me and my wife, we showed each other husband and wife qualities in our beginning of our relationship, beginning of the dating stages.
Okay.
So we could paint a picture of what to expect in a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You think if people would do that early on, they wouldn't waste so much time?
Oh, yes. If you come into a situation, I'm not, bringing any baggage, I'm coming into the situation and I'm ready to move forward. I know what I bring to the table. I'm confident in that. And then, like you're saying, you probably had a plan. You know what I mean? I get excited when a guy, looks at me and then he has a plan for me.
You think that a man should show a woman a plan before she show that she's submissive?
Yes, absolutely.
Or should it all happen? You said yes?
Yes, absolutely. Because I like that. I don't want to feel like I have to run the show or let you know something. Genuinely, I do want a man to lead, but I don't want to tell you to lead. I don't want to adjust and show you that I'm ready to be led. I feel.
Well, let me ask you this: Do you think if your father never cheated and perhaps kept the marriage or the relationship together, that those things wouldn't happen as far as having kids and stuff?
No, I think that if I was taught correctly, I wouldn't have had my kids so early. I was 18 when I got pregnant.
Was your father in the house then?
No, he had left us already.
Well, how old was you when he left?
Well, he used to, it's I always stay gone, a lot. But when he just officially left, I was about 15. I was about 14 or 15, yeah. When he brought us to, he actually brought us to Louisiana, and because we used to move around a lot, but he used to move, with us and just stay gone. But when he brought us to Louisiana, he moved with us.
So you was 15, and then once he officially left, that's when the girls started letting the boys sneak in bed.
I was 16 when that happened. that actually.
So you had to give it a year because he might come back in 365 days. He might come
I was
back.
about 16 when that happened. That actually happened. But I didn't get caught. My sister ended up getting caught and then ratted me out. That's what.
Wow.
Like, no, he
Take
got caught in
everybody
there.
out, huh?
The dude got caught in there. But my dude was, gone by the time, he got. But anyway, yeah, that
They both know each other. They both came at the same time.
Yeah, they both came.
They was like, hey, look, man, they both came to the window. Hey, I got her, you got her.
No,
They
we
ain't
got
never.
to the back door.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they ain't never switched up, did they?
No, what you mean?
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure. You never know.
No.
Like you said, it's the traditional ways.
No. That was that right there. That was like, actually my first love and all that little type of stuff, You know what I'm saying? Nigga was, gone forever. Like nigga was, shit.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the next question. We doing good. So the next question is what makes. Okay. Oh, this is one of them, Matt. What would a man say? Why would a man say women lack accountability?
Well, I think this goes back to, the way people was brought up. Like, if you're not brought up or if your trauma, because childhood trauma is a motherfucker. Like sometimes people have to be taught that. Everybody don't know how to, take accountability. And sometimes women are like that because we either spoil or just, we just ain't just really been taught it. It's taught to men, I think, more so than women, as little girls and little boys, I think boys are pushed as, adolescents to take accountability more so than women are. Especially black boys.
Why do you think that? What makes you think that?
Because I got 3 of them. And just looking, yeah, I got 3 boys. And just
3 boys.
Yeah, I got 3 boys, and just I had to, catch myself a few times. Like I find myself always teaching my daughter that just because you cute, it don't make you special. You still gotta, hold yourself to a certain kind of accountability, because some people just ain't taught it. Some women just, and some men not either. Some men are not either, but most men, especially black men, they're made to take accountability, from young.
So I understand that they're not taught it as a young girls, but is there a way they can learn, as they get older?
Mental health,
mental health.
To somebody, yeah, talk. Because sometimes it takes for the right person to make you be able to see, what the issue is, like, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with talking to somebody. I'm gonna start talking to somebody, and sometimes it takes that. Sometimes it takes for a professional or somebody to, really tap in and make you see, what the issue might be, what the underlying issue is. Because a lot of times it's trauma, because I know I'm traumatized like a motherfucker. I'm fucked up. I know I'm fucked up, but I'm trying.
You say you're trying. Ain't nothing wrong with that. What are some things that can make a man who brings in 100% to the table cheat on his wife?
Okay. You can fall off, let yourself go, get comfortable. You were a certain way when you first met you. Now you're looking like Lizzo. No, I'm playing.
I didn't say it. She said it.
No, it's true. It happened to me because I did the same thing. And I'm just like, yep. Let yourself go.
Hold on, wait. Did you say this happened to you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I let myself go. I honestly did. Because, you have pictures on, your phone and Google and stuff like that. I'm not saying that, that's the reason why my husband cheated. But, I mean, I can admit that I let myself go, after I had my twins. That was crazy. So after that, I was just like, I was just a hot mess working at night. And, we get comfortable in the fact that we will assume that he won't leave, or that he can, take me as I am, or, those things. We think that. We take, that for granted, that part of him for granted.
Should he still take you as you are when you let yourself go?
I think men, they do take you as you are, but they do drop the hints, like, try not to get their heads cut off, because they always say, like, if you compliment a woman on her waist, she'll go crazy and stuff. Like, you just see all those Instagram memes and stuff. But I think if he wants you and only you, and he's dropping these hints, I think you should try to listen, because by the time he steps out, that's when you want to get all mad and crazy, throwing stuff, lighting the car on fire. Like, he tried to tell you, but when he did step out, I was like, wow, this really sucks right now, but I wanted to fix the situation, because we had children together. Yeah, and I wanted to fix the situation, and we already had 3 children, so I'm like, well, everybody makes mistakes, and everybody deserves a second chance, That's how I felt at that moment, And I really was seeking to fix. I was gonna cry. Sorry.
Wix gives you the power of AI to build the website you need, with full business functionality and a design tailored just for you. Customize every element of your website and watch your vision come to life in minutes. Control everything from the biggest tasks to the finest details. Personalized, optimized, ready to go live.
Mirafiber helps support a more balanced gut with 8 grams of fiber. Reach for a more balanced gut.
Oh, don't worry, it's okay. Okay, let it out. It's all right.
Sorry. It's because I cared, and I wanted to fix everything. But that's not what happened, He just came home from church one day, and he packed everything and left. He left me, he left the kids, and that was hard, because, I expected more from him, I guess, as my husband, because at that point we had been married for 9 years. And
you put in a lot of work and time, sacrifice.
Yeah. And when he didn't have anything, and when it was hard, it wasn't like, well, I'm going to go get with Larry because he has more than you. I actually was, filling out applications, going with him to the job interviews, just sitting in the car waiting for him to come out and, see if he, had success. And so I really, try to be a genuine person, in my marriage. And even though I wasn't perfect all the time, it was like, I did want to fight for it, but if another person doesn't want to fight, it kind of makes it a little bit, harder and uneven. Yeah.
Feel like women are 304s, the modern women?
Yeah.
The ones getting their own bags and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, I think, in my own opinion, from what I've experienced, because I watched my father fuck over my mama bad, and he a preacher.
Yeah. Oh, wait, he's a pastor?
He's a pastor. And I watched this, so my story is, I done seen it. I know niggas ain't shit. So I'm not gonna, I just don't see myself spending no 25, 35 years with one nigga like grandmama and them used to do it. I don't. I don't. It might be trauma. It might be common sense. Who knows? I know it ain't in it for me. Now, you know, dating long term, I can do that. But ain't no way I'm about to just, you know, just let go and just be with one nigga. Just be loyal to one nigga like my mama did and got left with 5 kids. No.
So you ain't doing it.
No. Not even gonna try.
So, well, what's good? What's going on, Shaq? What's going on, Logic? So, that's very interesting. So you saw the things that were happening, and you just don't want to.
And my mama would, and listen, my mama was a good wife. Like she didn't cheat, she didn't none of that. I mean, So I'm not even finna play them games like I'm gonna be with a nigga for 25 years and just fuck on this one nigga and just deal with this one nigga and just and this nigga preference could change today or tomorrow, you know, and just say fuck me. It ain't gonna happen.
So you don't think that your mother played any part? She was a good woman, right? She was a good mother, good woman. Was she working or was she stay at home?
No, she wasn't working. She was staying home. I mean, you know, just, you know. and I watched this happen for years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I watched this happen. You know what I'm saying? And then I watched the manipulation. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't trying to make it about my family or nothing like that, but I used to tell mama. I used to tell her after. I used to tell her, say, Mom, look, you just need to take whatever money you can take and save up, and let's just go. I used to tell her. But, you know, you got some of the ones who just don't want to. I don't want to be that one. I don't want to be that bitch who just don't want to leave, who just want to make it work. Because niggas just, y'all don't know what y'all want. It's like a woman can want the happy ever after. But y'all don't know what y'all want. And then we take the chance and, you know what I'm saying, just giving it all in, just put it, we take that chance and then y'all just walk all over us.
Damn. So what's the solution for that for a woman? You know, should she try to be traditional or should she keep her options open?
Keep your options open because I mean the traditional shit went out the. Everything changing. You have to understand. Traditions change because you know shit don't just stay the same for eons and eons. Like relationships is just changing. Shit just changing. You know, it ain't gonna be the way it used to be in grandmama them days, no more ever. And we just got to live with that.
And we just gotta move with it, huh?
I mean, that's what I think. I swear to God, I don't see, in my lifetime, I don't see myself getting to be 50 years old and meeting a couple that's been together for 25 years.
That's accomplishment, ain't it?
Yeah, it is. Not unless you got some kind of arrangement going on, you know, like, you know, you can see, you know, because people just craving more than one person, you know what I'm saying? So the relationships where people got, you know what I'm saying, open options and different things like that, those are working. Those are working better than the traditional shit.
So you don't believe that no traditional relationships could work in this day and age?
I think it's fading out.
You think it's phasing out?
It's phased out. Yeah.
What about the people that's already ongoing? What about the people that's in traditional relationships and it's actually working? You think that's gonna phase out soon, or or the ones who's already
I think
sealed in?
I think the odds are high. I think the odds are high. Because, I mean, come on. I mean, look at where we at. Like, we living in Sodom and Gomorrah days. So it's like, you know, people just gonna have to, like, just, you know, set up their little, you know, I mean, I don't know. It's like we living in Sodom and Gomorrah days. The temptation is way more than what it used to be. People, you know what I'm saying, either got the same strength the old folks had, mentally, the men, the women, you know, it's for, well, women weren't really cheating like that back then. Women was being faithful and loyal, you know, because it wasn't ladylike to have so many niggas. You know, they looked at you a certain kind of way, you know, if you was, you know, and all that old type of crazy shit. Man,
So what are you saying to the women that actually want love and seeking for love? You know, they should just give up hope, or should they just keep trying?
Again, they should keep trying. I mean, I would never give up. I mean, something that you really, really want. But I would, you know, face the music and understand that, I mean, I don't know. Like, cause you know, it's like if you can't trust like say you know, looking for a God-fearing man. Like I told myself, I never date a pastor and take him serious. I never date a pastor and take him serious. Now, I gotta be able to
Wait. The pastor, is it? Because I heard a lot of women say that they want the man to submit to God.
Yeah.
And they'll submit to him.
Oh, Lord, no. See,
that
I
ain't
mean,
what it is?
It's okay if that's what they want, but I'm just saying, it ain't. I'm just messed up. I guess I'm just messed up in the mind. I never fuck with a pastor and take him serious. Never.
So let me get this straight. If you had to choose against a regular Joe and a pastor, both bring the same qualities, you're saying you'll choose a regular Joe?
The regular Joe, all day long. Why would I want a pastor?
Wow.
Yeah. Who wants a pastor? Well, you know what? Everybody do, obviously. Like, if you got sense, you'll run far, far, far away. Like, I just wouldn't deal with a pastor and take him serious. No. Like, so the Megan Good thing, I already knew him say something. I knew that shit wasn't gonna work. I knew it years ago. I knew it. I knew that shit wasn't gonna work. It just, you know,
I mean, we have a fatherless crisis, for God's sake. So this notion or this standpoint that, oh yeah, she's got to be able to make babies for me. Like, can you even take care of the kids? Because I don't think a lot of men really, or I don't think most men are like, oh yeah, she's got to be between this age bracket.
I hear you. And I think that's a fair point. I think that you want to cast your net fairly wide, right? And then sift through what it is that you're catching in your net. So finding a man who's okay dealing with potential challenges around having children after a certain point, I think is great. The likelihood, especially in this climate, of men having that mentality could be a little bit more challenging, right? Not to say impossible, but I think it is harder the older you get if you don't have children and would desire to have children. Those health repercussions to you or the child are not to be ignored either. I think there needs to be a balance instead of being really extreme about things.
Right. So yeah, I understand what you're saying. I agree. It's just that it's only, I would even argue that most men who push for this preference of having a woman who's within the window of being able to give this man children and you know, without any at-risk pregnancies or whatever, or geriatric, I would say most of these men don't even have the capability of taking care of a household.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? If you look at the stats, a lot of these kids today I mean, we have a fatherless crisis, for God's sake. So this notion or this standpoint that, oh yeah, she's got to be able to make babies for me. Like, come on, man. Or can you even take care of the kids? Or are you even taking care of the kids you have already? So like we gotta really get real with ourselves and be like, okay, now maybe we should look at it from a different perspective. Because I mean, it's not like men are out here saying they want a bunch of kids.
That's fair.
I think that could be used as a tool or a way to a defense mechanism that should be like, okay, I want this woman to be in this age bracket. Just say you want a younger woman, and don't use, oh, she got to be able to make babies. Just say, I just want a younger woman because, maybe they're fitter, they're younger, they're fine, they're exciting. I would rather hear that. You know what I mean?
I agree with you, right? And I think the common pushback to that is that there are a lot of people out there that challenge that preference, right? They call them names, they insinuate certain things about them, which may or may not be true. We don't know. This is the internet, right? But sometimes when people state their preferences, it gets received with so much pushback that people feel the need to give what other people would consider an acceptable response.
And I would also argue that the preferences don't really come from that person personally. I think that's a preference that they share with somebody they're inspired by. I think about the Nathaniels and the high value man and all these other terms that he coined a lot. A lot of people wasn't really fixated on that as expressing their preference through those terms he was using until they were inspired by him. They were intrigued by his persona, his character, and how he pushed it and how he became popular off of it. So they adapted and say, okay, this is who I'm inspired by. I'm going to use his principles and project that in my dating preferences because I want to feel like, he feels. I want to be like who I'm inspired by. You know what I'm saying? But that might not necessarily be what you really want. So we're sharing, we're piggybacking off of other people's preferences. Like if it's trending, I swear to God, if somebody famous come out with something trending and it's got something to do with dating and relationships, and they admired, and they're a man, a lot of men are gonna jump on that and be like, yeah, I believe in that. That's what I want. But that wasn't how you was thinking last week, though. So I'm humble enough and I'm accountable enough to admit, what I'm saying, that that's the case, and a lot of brothers are probably not gonna do that.
That's fair. That's a fair statement.
From messing with juveniles, little hot juveniles, sometimes you got because, it was a lot of them cases too,
Were they in the church or no? Were they outside the church?
In and outside the church.
Oh. So pastors are messing with the congregation.
Oh, yes. Oh, big time. Fucking in the room that they count the money in. Yeah. You know
talking
what?
about the pastor study?
The fucking in the room where they count the money in. Let me tell you something. I wish that girl had Instagram because I add her in on this call. This, like, I seen this. I seen, the holy of holy places so defiled. It's like, I don't believe, it just ain't for me. Like.
You ever been to a church and you ever got taken to the back and prayed for? And maybe no, don't answer that.
A lot of that be going on. They be on their knees praying and all that.
The pastor ain't never tried to hit on you, have?
The pastor's prepared.
Well, keep that. We don't want to get nobody, what they call it, this about.
But I'm gonna tell you what happened though. One of my sons' dad, is a pastor, but he wasn't no pastor when that, when we conceived our son, he was not no pastor. Now he's a pastor. Never met his child. Don't look. The biggest devil ever walked them. Never met his child. Don't want to meet him. Don't want to pay child support. It's like people different. Like I have my outlook on shit, pastors and stuff like that because of what I went through. I have my outlook on niggas because what I went through. But it's like it's not gonna ever be a change until the root of the problem is solved. It is not black women. It's the niggas.
So they beat you for telling that the pastor was...
Yes, indeed. They will cover for him, say you lying, call you the devil, beat you, and it was public too. It was public humiliation. Because it's okay to be gay, but don't be preaching against the and you know you going.
Whoa, now.
And messing with little children. And getting babies in the church. Don't be preaching and stuff telling us we going to hell, but it don't exist for your sins. You in here fucking little children and fingering little children and getting people in the congregation pregnant and making a whole slew of babies and lying on people and doing all this other type of things and hollering shout nah. But if you question it, you're gonna be cursed. If you say something, the Lord gonna get you because touch not. This is what I heard. Touch not my anointing and do my prophet no harm. That's what I heard. Touch not, and I didn't hear nothing about no struggle. I heard about you can run your mouth or else. That's what I heard. That's what I said.
You said that's what you seen?
Yeah, all my life. Oh my God, just all my life. Like I think the church is a big scam, and I think if black folks had sense, all the money that they put in the church, black folks wouldn't be struggling and suffering over here if they had any doggone sense. All this money that they scamming folks out of, and I don't know why they won't get together like the Jews do and all the other races do, and do something for their culture. No, they just keep on molesting and stealing and having these affairs with these gay folks, and then they talking about gay folks going to hell, and they backsliders, and church folks is the worst folks. I know this. Don't get me wrong. It's a few church people that I love who never hurted me, who just was. They didn't help me. They didn't help me. If they seen something, if they heard something, they never said nothing. Now that part is what's hard.
Hold on. So what you mean if they heard something, they wouldn't say nothing?
Like, because kids tell. I told. My friend told. We would tell. And,
Hold on.
You have the
friend. You say your friend, so you and your friend also...
It's a slew of us. It's a slew of us. Yeah. We would tell. But I get my ass tore out the frame. That beat the fuck out of me.
Hold on, wait. So let me get this straight. So they beat you for telling that the pastor was...
Yes, indeed. They would cover for him, say you lying, call you the devil, beat you, and just it was public too. It was public humiliation. It was, what I'm saying, it was always, like you was just the one, like me and my friend. We was the one, everybody just looked at like this. Because the pastor said, this is what the pastor said. Pastor don't make it look certain kind of way because you tell him.
How old were y'all?
We was little. I've been knowing her since I was like 6. She's like 2 years older than me. And but see, for the longest, I didn't even know what was happening to her. And she didn't know what was happening to me until we got up sometimes. Because we was best friends. We was like this. Best friends. Like sisters. That's still my sister. And so once we got up, some age where, we grown, you really can't do me nothing. They did everything they did. Sharon, God rest her soul, she did. That helper did everything she could to keep me from getting in contact with my friend. and she could have put us in contact. And then finally, when we did get in contact, Sharon was sick. I didn't know Sharon was sick. And I just like, and you know, we had put two and two together. I was like, I've been trying to find you. I was going through Sharon. She was like, I was going through Sharon trying to find you. And you know, and we, you know, ended up talking, and then she told me something, and it broke my heart. And I found out Sharon was one that, you know, used to try and hide and cover for him. So I called her, and I got my friend on three-way. And I checked her. I was like, why would you do that to her? I was like, why would you say she lying and you know she telling the truth? And she said, this is her exact word. She said, it happened so long ago, it don't even matter no more. That's what she said. And I told her, I was like, you know what? I would not want to be you. I wouldn't want to be you. I said, judgment coming for you swiftly, baby. I would not want to be you. I would want to be nowhere around you. And then she died. She died. So and I hate I said it like that. I wish I would have reworded it a different kind of way, but I would have definitely let her know some kind of way, bitch. You're wrong for that.
So what is a girl supposed to do if the church is putting a muzzle over them?
Leave your family, leave the church, leave the state. Get the fuck from around there. Get gone. Leave. And see, and it's crazy because, like, my friend, you know, she was going through it, like, not just with the pastor, but at her house, because, you know, her mama was the assistant pastor. So she really don't want you to say nothing. She don't want nothing stopping. She don't want nothing to dry up. She don't want that gravy train to dry up. So, you know, it was like, oh my God, she, you know, she was really, 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 really strong. She was a really strong girl.
How
and, you know, it like, you know, it get out, you know, in a small little town like Grove Hill, you know, she ain't gonna get out. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't just me. It's like, you know, in different little cities and stuff like that, and people was putting stuff together, it didn't look good. For your own child to be saying nothing, it don't look good. You know what I'm saying? And so, but he was, you know what I'm saying, like really, really good with words, and I'm a pastor of God, and she the devil, she got the devil in her, and all of that type of stuff, and it's just like, and people went with it. Nobody helped me. People went with it.
He ain't still preaching, is he?
Yeah, he's still preaching. In Texas somewhere. Probably still mess with them little girls. People like that don't get healed. I'm telling you. People like that don't get healed and delivered. You know, when you're out here fucking with people's children. That type of shit is just, the only way you can get rid of that is just die. That's the only way.
So I see a lot of apologies from pastors and stuff.
Because they don't want that money to stop. That's what I've been told, to shut the fuck up before the bills stop getting paid. That's been told to me. I'm telling you. I'm not lying. I've been told how the bills gonna get paid if people stop leaving the church. That's the question, you know. Oh yeah. Look, let me tell you something. Nobody don't like somebody who gonna stop it and fuck it up for everybody.
So how are you supposed to be able to find? I mean, well, you can find God in other ways, but if you wanted to go to church, you wouldn't.
I don't go to church. I don't go to church. I don't take my turn in church. I don't trust them people.
So that ruined it for every other church, every church in the world.
I mean, I just feel like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I have friends who have churches I've visited. You know, just to support my friend, just for my friend. Because I didn't know she was no pastor. I just thought, you know, that was, you know. Then I was like, oh, you're a preacher? Like, oh, okay. You know, yeah. Hallelujah, I show up. So, you know, I show up and just, you know, as a friend, but not. It's just I don't feel right at nobody's church. I don't feel right sitting at nobody's church. I'm gonna sit in the pulpit. And I'm gonna feel stupid. I'm gonna sit in the congregation and I'm gonna feel stupid. Like, It don't feel right. I feel like the church is unnecessary. They ain't doing shit. You ain't doing nothing with that money you're making, but the pastor is sitting on it. The pastor and whoever he's fucking on, and the assistant pastor and the bishop and all of them. They're the only ones benefiting. The people in the congregation is broke. You got all these baskets you got to put money in. The prophets, love offering, the tithe, the offering, the building fund, the youth fund, the love offering. These is real offerings folks had to pay. I watched it. These is real offerings folks had to pay every Sunday.
And that money, where did that money go to?
Our lifestyle.
Oh no, man. I see some
that ain't gonna lie about. We had a nice lifestyle.
I think it's your church. I think it's that church you was in.
All of them doing it. All of them doing it. All of them doing it. Just name me a black church. Let me tell you something. White folks are a little bit different. Name me a black church that's got a garden that you know people can come to when they ain't got no food, you know, and just get some free food. Name me a church that's doing something charity-wise, that's, you know, doing something for the single mothers and something like that. Name me a black church that giving out soup just for the homeless, just giving. You can't do it. Can't do it.
Man, churches change, but the church. I went to a church where, you know, they look out for you over there. Higher Learning Ministry out there in Petersburg.
Is they black folks?
Huh?
Is they black folks?
Yeah.
They're 1 in a million.
Oh no, man. It's some good churches.
I ain't never seen one. I swear to God, I ain't never seen one. A black church? I don't even get close to come see. I ain't gonna lie.
Do you see these women are wearing in church like?
They hold. It's fucking a tester, sir. Let me tell you something. I watched my father, and I watched them do it. And if anybody know anything about Prophet R.B. Williams, y'all know that nigga moved the hoe in our house. He put the hoe, put me out of my room and on the couch and put the bitch in my room. Now, we had multiple homes. We would only go there on the weekends when we weren't in school in Mobile. And then, you know, come time to go to church and everything, we'll come on down on Saturday. But, you know what I'm saying, he in Grove Hill and she in Grove Hill. He said, my mom, I don't know what the fuck mama was thinking, but she sure wasn't thinking large.
She was.
And I was trying to tell her.
Your mama was in the house too?
The bitch was in the house. He put me out of my room. I'm telling you, I was done like the red-headed stepchild. They did me dirty. My family did me dirty. And mama let him. Put me out my room. I'm sleeping on the couch. The bitch in my room, sleeping in my bed. And then when we moved, like when we was there for the summertime, you know, when we was there for the summertime, I'm still on the fucking couch. This bitch in my room. Now everybody just finding out Jeremiah is my brother. I've been telling them. What? I've been telling them.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah. Now everybody just finding out Jeremiah is my brother. They just found out a couple years ago. He's 20-something. I've been telling them. I've been telling mama. Ask her.
Jeremiah. It's
Jeremiah Smith. It's my little brother. And I loved it, Jeremiah. I loved it. We used to keep him while mama and his mama, while my father and his mom used to go off, you know, for revival. We used to keep Jeremiah. And mama used to keep him and kiss on him and do all of that. I don't know what mama was saying. But she one thing, I can't be that bitch. I cannot be my mom. I can't. It just, and I think that's why I'm fucked up, because I watched my mama be a dog. You know, all in the name of Jesus. All in, I'm just gonna let the Lord deal with it type shit.
You can't let your mama dictate your terms, though. You can be better.
My mama didn't do that. The situation did. And I can never be a better woman, you know, than my mama. Because I can't do it.
Is your mama got a man now?
No. Still. She called herself tried one time, but we ran him off.
Because you're a damn mouth. How y'all ran him off?
Because he was fresh out of prison somewhere, thought he was gonna get a nice cot and a bitch. No, nigga, no. Because my mama was green, you know, she didn't know. She didn't know how to, I got that man the fuck away from my mama. Cause my mama just did, my mama, she just.
You ran him off.
Who? You think I'm finna?
Your mama didn't run him off, you ran him off.
I ran him off. I did. Yes, I did. Ran him way off. Sure did. Cause at this point, I gotta protect my mom. I tried to tell her this, she wouldn't listen when I was young. I tried to tell her, I used to tell her, take some of this money he gave you and put it up. She wouldn't listen. And I was a young girl telling her.
You was a young girl. How old are you now?
I'm 35.
Oh, you 35.
Mm-hmm.
So the next question is, what benefit can a young man get out of dating an older woman that he cannot get from a younger woman? So
I don't like that question.
Well, let's twist it a little bit. What benefit can a man get out of dating you now that he couldn't get out of dating you when you were 20, 21, 22?
Oh, okay. Definitely, I would say maturity.
Maturity.
Yes.
You know what? A lot of people say that maturity that's like number one.
Overall.
A mature woman.
Physically, spiritually, emotionally. I mean, and it's just a noted thing. But if you look at your past experiences, you could definitely pinpoint that you have matured over time with your life lessons, learning more and having a different understanding. Understanding, more when it comes to communication and things of that nature. So yeah, I would say maturity. Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else other than that?
No, because maturity pretty much covers everything.
Covers everything.
Yeah, because just like I said, spiritually, emotionally, physically, all those things. You think differently. You react differently. Your understanding is different. So just being mature on an entirely different level, it just gives you an overall perspective of everything being more clear. You have more clarity on things.
Right.
And things are not, I don't know, I'm not sure, things are undefined. You already kind of know. And if you don't know, you have the potential to find out.
So you still learning. So you got your degree?
Yeah, I got a degree.
It was in education, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got a degree in education, you're a teacher. You don't see any other teachers, maybe male teachers that work in the schools that you might be attracted to?
I do, but I feel like they network is just not gonna work.
They network? Yeah. But you'd date the Walmart guy. Do you have any preferences regarding your desired mate's career or occupation?
No, as long as he's prepared.
He can work at Walmart?
Yeah.
What kind of lifestyle you want? You want to be able to, what do you want? What do you see yourself driving? Or you see yourself living in the trailer? I know you're in Mississippi, right?
Yes.
You see yourself living in a single wide trailer or a single family home?
I'm not gonna stay in Mississippi, but I plan to move out of Mississippi soon.
So where do you want to move to?
I have a family in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'm thinking about going there.
What's the cost of living in Cincinnati?
About $1,200 a month for some apartment.
So the cost of living in Cincinnati, you need to be making $50,000 or more. So do you want to live in an apartment or a house?
Right off an apartment.
You okay living in an apartment?
Yeah, this is just me.
It's just you, but we talking about if you with this man.
Oh, if I'm with a man, then of course I want to, home here.
So you want to live in a home?
Yeah.
And he can be working at Walmart, and you can be working as a teacher, making how much again?
41 down here, 41,000 a year down here.
Y'all plan on having kids?
No, I know. I mean, not wait. Yes, of course.
You plan on having kids, you want to live in a house, and he can work at Walmart, y'all probably gonna struggle. In Cincinnati, Ohio. 1 car or 2 cars?
I mean, I don't have a car. I got my own car.
And he gotta have his own car, right?
Boy.
So this man working at Walmart, paying a car note, insurance, having to pay mortgage, lights, daycare. Finances is one of the top 3 reasons people get a divorce. You want to get married, or you good with just shacking up?
No, I want to get married.
Want to get married before kids, right? You don't have any kids now, do you? Okay. You might want to try to elevate your thinking a little bit. Do you have any friends or family members that's in a relationship?
They're married, but not around my age. They're older.
Are they doing good? Are they maintaining? Or are they struggling?
Well, this one cousin that I know, she's doing pretty good.
And they live in Mississippi?
Yeah.
They stay in an apartment or a house?
Apartment.
That ain't the lifestyle you want, right?
No, of course not.
You want to live in a house, so you gotta aim for a man, and maybe he work in corporate America, maybe he be self-employed and entrepreneur. But Walmart, I would try to go for a guy that works in software development or something like that. You 25, right?
No, 22.
So you young, 22, early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
You may be able to pull it off. You might be able to find a guy if you keep yourself slim, and you got your braces on right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got your tattoos on your chest. Is that a Mississippi thing?
No, it's not. I just got this. I said I was gonna get it removed because it's not really professional for me. Not really.
Who you inspired by?
This?
Who you were inspired by? Is it Glorilla, Sexy Red, Cardi B?
No. No.
Who's your inspiration?
I don't really have one. I just like music, but not music on that level.
So what you listen to? That country twang?
No, I listen to R&B.
Who you listen to?
Pretty Ricky, old school.
Pretty Ricky?
Yeah.
So that's how you got finessed the first time. You listening to that Pretty Ricky, and he got up in your boots.
Wait. I had to learn it though. I'm glad that happened, but this talk was like, okay, all right, so whatever now.
So you still learning? So you got your degree?
Yeah, I got a degree.
It was in education, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got a degree in education. You're a teacher. You don't see any other teachers, maybe male teachers that work in the schools that you might be attracted to?
I do, but I feel like day network is just not gonna work.
Day network? Yeah. But you'd date the Walmart guy.
You probably know Vistaprint for business cards, but did you know we print everything you need to get your brand in front of your fans? We print banners and signs that help your business stand out. We print postcards and flyers that get people talking. And we print must-have merch like tote bags, t-shirts, and water bottles. Whether you want a few or a few thousand, we print on everything so that customers can go from noticing your brand to falling in love with it. Right now, new customers can get 20% off with code NEW20. Because if you need it, we print it at Vistaprint.com.